Welcome back. Today I'm looking at a referencing program called Zotero. Now it is free to use, but if you want to use the additional option server where you can store or share all your referencing with different groups, you are limited to 300 megabytes storage, but you can pay for additional. So I'm going to start from scratch to show you how to install it, set it up and get running. So first thing we need to do is actually install Zotero. So I'm using Google Chrome. If I open it up, I'm going to type just Zotero and I'm going to choose the top option here, or underneath I can select downloads. Now if you're on the Mac, it will automatically recognise which operating system you're using. So I'm going to select download to download this on my Windows, and before I install Chrome Connector I'm going to come down here and select browse plugins. You've got many different plugins you can use, for example Google Scholar Citations is Zotero. If you come down here you can even install Zotero Storage Scanner, which will scan your Zotero storage folder for missing attachments and possible duplicates, for example PDFs and that might be missing. So definitely look in there, see if that could be helpful. But I'm going to come back out of there and I'm going to select install Google Chrome. Now if you've got a different browser, select Zotero connectors for other browsers. You can install it in Firefox and Safari. You've got an option that says bookmarklet. I've never tried yet. That should work in any browser, including those on smartphones and tablets. If I click on it, it shows you, for example, Safari and iPhone and iPad. It'll tell you how to install that. I may be using Android browser, or you prefer Opera. It doesn't work as well as the Zotero connector, but it does give you an option. But I find it works lovely with Google Chrome. So I'm going to come back out of there. I'm going to install the Chrome connector. I'm going to add it to Chrome and select Add Extension. So whenever you find information, resources online, we're going to tap that icon. You'll notice that icon change, for example, to a journal it changed to a PDF, a book it will turn blue. It does give you visual feedback as well. Now bottom left hand corner, I've downloaded Zotero software. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to install it and select yes, and I'm going to follow all prompts and select finish, and it will launch Zotero for me. I'm going to close the browser. This will give you the option to install Zotero Connect, which I've already done. Remember, if you come down here, it will give you the option to show all browsers. Well, I'm going to close that window and maximize Zotero. And before we start, I do recommend doing one thing that's really important. It's a way of backing up all your sources. Top right hand corner, you've got a little button here that says sync with Zotero.org. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to select Open Sync Preferences. Now it's a free account, you don't have to pay for it. You're limited to up to 300 megabytes storage, but it does give you a few options. One, you can back up your sources, and two, you can share them with different people and groups. So I think it's a really powerful option. If you want more than 300 megabytes, then you have to pay a subscription. But I'm going to log in and click enter. I'm now in. So you can choose your settings here if you want. I'm going to sync automatically so I don't forget about it. Also I can sync all my attachments as well. So I'm going to click OK. So I really recommend doing that. So come up top right hand corner and select this little sync icon, and you can see it's now syncing. I've got nothing in Zotero at the moment, but that shows you it's working. I'll show you how to do groups in a minute online, which is really handy, but let me get you started on the fundamentals of using Zotero. Now before you start, top left hand corner, you've got two options. So let's have a look. So don't worry about this option yet, which is new library. Just concentrate on new collection. So I'm going to tap it once. So this is where we're going to save all your research to. So let me pop in a subject. I'll just put history. Click OK. You can see it's now opened that folder. Any research I will do will be saved in this folder automatically. I'm going to create another one. Let's pop World War I in and select OK. History is quite a big subject. Do a right click, then I can add sub collection. So I might want to talk about, let's pop Rome in and click OK. I've got my main collection history, and underneath I've got Rome. I've got a second collection about World War I, and again I can right click on that and then add a sub collection. or I could rename it, delete it, or delete collection and items within that. So I'm going to go back to Rome. First port of call will probably be the internet, so I'm going to open up the internet now, do a bit of research. Remember, I've got my Zotero connector top right. So I'm going to type Rome history, and I'm going to scroll down, see what we can find. Thehistory.com, let's have a look at this site. So let's just say we want to use this internet site. Now if I scroll down, you might find a piece of information that you like. Now I could come up here, let's close that bottom option, and select this little Zotero plugin. Left click it, and you can see it says there Ancient Rome, and it's grabbed it. I can click this option here and choose which folders I actually want to save it in, but as I've opened Rome earlier, it's going to automatically go into there. Now if I open up Zotero at the bottom, it's added it here. To the right, we've got the source information for the website. Just a quick reminder on websites, if it doesn't find the author, which it doesn't always, then put the title of the website where the author is. And you can do that by clicking in it and then typing. I'm going to tap off that. Now you can see there, it's just giving me the abstract, nothing else. I'm going to come back to that website again. I'm going to scroll down this time and highlight text that you might want to cite. So I'm going to highlight just part of that paragraph. Now if I do a right click on it, I've got an option that says Save to Zotero. And I can select Create Zotero Item and Note from Selection and left click. Now I'm going to go back again to Zotero. Now this time it's done the same thing underneath, it looks identical but it hasn't. If I come across now to Notes and open up my notes, there's that text that I've highlighted but specifically might want to cite. Remember, you might be looking at a source and then you forget what you was actually reading at the time. And then you can highlight information within that, and you might want to bold it, underline it, or change some settings in there as well. So I'm going to minimize that, go to the top one, right click and select Move Item to Trash. Click OK. There's my first source. If I right click on that source, I can left click and view it back online quickly, so you never lose it. Close that window. Also if I right click, you can view snapshot quickly. So if I tap on it, again that will give you a snapshot of where it come from originally. Also if I right click, you can show file. So if I click on it, it'll show you exactly where it's downloaded to. In this case it's downloaded to my storage in Zotero where it's stored. And if I right click it again, you might want to show it in library, which it is now. And if I right click again, you can add an attachment. So it might be attached link to a URL, attached saved copy of a file, attached stored copy of a file, or attached link to a file. So if I select attached link to a file, and I'll just use a general image as an example. Let's use that spire. And now if I click on it, I've now got that document attached to it. So you can attach the information, be it a scan, Word document, anything you want. Also if I right click it, you can find available PDF. So if there's a PDF for it, it will look for it online and try and find it. In this case, it's obviously just a website. And right click again, you can duplicate item or move it to trash. Now you can export item. Really important option is I'm going to select it. So you've got format here. If you're using a different referencing software like Mendeley or EndNote, you can export it out. For example, for EndNote or Bibliotex. Or quite common one is RIS. So bear that in mind as well. So you can also import as well as export references. And click cancel. So if I go back up to file and select import, and then you can import what you want from there from another referencing software. So last of all, on the right click, you can create a bibliography from item or generate from item. So if I select create bibliography from item, choose your reference style and you cite them right. I'm going to output to bibliography, save as rich text format and select OK. Save it to my desktop, and then all the references, all your bibliography will be saved into a Word document without the in-text citation, so bear that in mind, because we can do the in-text citation from Word. So I'm going to open up Google. Let me do another quick source for you. So this time I'm going to try Google Scholar, see if I can find a journal. Open up Google Scholar, pop in a subject, Rome history, and have a little look. So instead of spending hours going through this, I'm going to grab anything quickly as an example. I've got a book here for the economic history of Rome. Left click it. So take me to Google Books. Got a few options here. The first thing is, see up here, the icon's changed to blue. That's telling me it's a book. Left click it. And again, if I open up Zotero, we now got the book information. Come to the right, you can see book, title, author, abstract, publisher date, and information you need to reference in Harvard or Scholar, APA, and so on. Just to let you know, if it doesn't pick up a book, go back to Google Chrome. You could select get this book in print, and I might go to Amazon. So in Amazon, I'm going to open up the book. What you could do is copy the ISBN number, or if you've got the physical book in your hand, at the back of the book you'll have a number. So what we'll do is we're going to highlight the number, choose the bottom one, click copy. I'm now going to open up Zotero. See this little wand option? It's an identifier. Click on it. You can add ISBN numbers of a book or object identifier from journals and so on. So I'm going to right click and paste. And I'm now going to click the enter key. I'll come to the right, it's found exactly the same information from the ISBN number for you. So if you've got physical books in your hand or any issues, just pop that number in and it finds the source for you. If I go back to Google, I'm going to come out there because what I'm really looking for is a journal. So I need to find a journal, so I'm going to type in there journal. I'm going to come down here, there's one here, select it. There we go, we've got an online PDF journal. And I know it's a journal, look at top left hand corner, it's got the DOI number. So what I could do is come to the top right hand corner with my Zotero connector. See it's changed to a PDF now, left click it. And then I'm going to open up Zotero. You see automatically to the right, it's seen it as a journal, title, authors. It's got the whole of the abstract. If you look at the bottom, you've got all your information to cite your journal. And don't forget, if you do a right click on it, you can view that PDF, click on it, and bring it up on your computer as well so you can access the information quickly and efficiently. And close that. So that's pretty simple, eh? But we still need to cite your work, don't we, in a Word document. Before we do, let me just quickly show you this at the top. If you come across a source it can't pick up, come to the top here, so that little plus option. Now, book section, document, journal, news article. It will mostly pick up. If you go to more, maybe you're doing a case, or maybe you're even going to cite a letter. So if I select a manuscript, to the right you can start adding the information. So you can put it in manually, title, abstract, place, date, whatever you need to fill in. It's worth doing because this software will still cite your work and create your bibliography for you in the correct format in Word. So what we'll do is right click on that and move item to trash. The other option here, if I click on it, you can add a note. So I'm going to add a note to that. See the notes appeared here on the right, and I could copy and paste information or add additional information. And you can pop your information in there. And you can see the notes added there for you. See the notes added. Now as you see I did a standalone note, so if I hold the left button I could actually drag it onto the source that I want it on as well. So now I've got two additional notes. So if I click on them you can see them appearing on the right. I could add a child note to one of my sources, click on it, and I can now add an additional note to that book. Also you might want to attach a link or attach a file to your sources. And the option here is to search, so you can do advanced search with all your sources by title or contains or is not or begins with, and you can even search sub collections as well. So I'm going to close that. That brings us to the right quickly. Now we know we've got info and notes. If you don't want a note, just click the minus to the right and you can click OK. Now we've got tags and related. Now tags. When you're looking for information from a source later, you can add what's called tags information. You can add keywords and information to find that source at a later date. Let me show you what I mean. So we've got an ergonomic history of Rome. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to add Roman Empire. So I've added a new tag. And I might want to add another one quickly. I'll add taxes. So now I've got Roman Empire and taxes, Roman economic conditions. I'm going to go back to info. So if I come bottom left now, you can see they've come up anyway, but if I was to type taxes, see it comes up because I've added a tag through all my sources. If I click on it, it will jump straight to that source with that keyword. Really powerful option to use. And the other option, related. This is cross-referencing. So one source might be related to another source. So when you open up one, you can then assess another. It's a great way to cross-reference. So I'm going to go back to the top of my library. Again, this time I'm going to click on the journal. Now see here I've got related. So now if I click add, I can cross-reference other sources to this source. I've got the effects of habitat configuration and quality on species. So I've got my source here. I'm going to click on it. Got my source here. Now I might want to cross-reference that with the website Ancient Rome. So I'm going to click OK. That's one related. I can add as many as I want as a cross-reference. So now if I go back and forth from Ancient Rome to my journal or website, you can see they've both been added to related. So when you open one, you've got the option to jump to the next one. So if I click on the journal, jump straight to the other source. So this is a great way to cross-reference if you're building up a lot of sources, especially if you're doing a master's or PhD. Now go back to info. So there's a quick overlay of the interface, but one thing I'm missing, you need to back up your sources online. It doesn't cost you anything, it's worth doing. Now if I come to the right and select this option here where it syncs. So hopefully you set that up earlier. And before we do anything else, I'll show you how to sync all your sources online and to share with groups. Before we do that, I want you to come to Edit and select Preferences. Now, currently in the Advanced option, I want you to go to Site. First thing I need you to do is find your reference style. Scroll down. If you can't find it in the list, for example, you might be doing law, or using the standard Harvard, or if I scroll up, you might be using APA for psychology. But if it's not there, select Get Additional Styles, and then type in what you're looking for. So I'm just going to generally put Harvard in. And then if I scroll down, it's showing all my Harvard referencing systems. So I might go down to King's College London, left click that, and if I scroll down, it's now in there automatically for you. So make sure you find out which is the correct reference style you're using, really important. The standard is like then right for Harvard, but there is variations. Now we go to sync and select about syncing. Now set about syncing all your sources up to a server online and you can share with groups or just store them. Once you click on here, if you've created an account earlier, select login. And I've already created an account, so it's automatically logged in for me. Now I'm going to go to groups. Now it gives you a quick video to set up a group, but I'm going to do it for you quickly. So I might want to create a group online for my own sources that I want to share and they want to share with me. So I could select create a new group, and I'm just going to call this and give it a number. Rome 123 to share. Actually I better capitalise that, use proper grammar. Now I've got an option here. Select public open membership, public closed membership or private membership. So this will be open to everyone. Or I could choose this one where members must apply or be invited, or private membership, so only members can view. So I'm going to leave it on public open membership and select create group. Choose your settings here. So I've got public open, anyone can read it on the internet, any group members can access it. So I'm going to select save settings, and now I should have my group. So if I come back to the top here, I select group settings, I've got my name, I could add a description, or any information you want in there, and you put your discipline in there as well. So I'm just going to select history, and if there's a website about the group you're sharing, you could pop it in there. And if I want, I could enable comments, but now save settings. I've now got my group all set up. Now how does it work? Well, if I go back to Zotero, now if I come to the right and now select sync, it should now sync with that server online. Now you can see to the left, it's brought group libraries in automatically what I created online. If I click on row 1, 2, 3, I've added nothing yet, but now I can. I could right click and add a new collection. So I might call this again Rome, click enter, come to the top. I could grab all my sources, hold the left button and drag them to my Rome folder, left click on it, they'll sync online. So if I select the sync option, I've now stored them and shared them with groups. So I've now got my Rome 1, 2, 3 folder, click on it, and there's all the sources that I've just added. You could add a new discussion regarding those sources or information if you're doing a group project. I can click into them. So there's that book, there's that journal from earlier. Click on it. It opens up the window. So any information we added to the right will also be listed. So you come up to groups again. If you don't want a group, or you want to delete the group or your sources, or maybe you want to keep it but keep it private, you can go manage library and then you could put private. Click OK and it will no longer be accessed by anyone else. Also, if you go to group settings and it's finished, you don't want to share it anymore, you just want to delete it, then you select the delete option here and click OK. Give it a little while to delete the whole group and sources from Zotero. So if I go back and select sync top right again, it gives me the option, do I want to keep it or remove it? So I'm going to select remove group and you've cleared them all off. So there's a quick overview of using Zotero. We still haven't started our work yet. Let's do that now. So I'm going to open up a Word document. Now you should have at the top this option here. If you don't, have a look at my little link on my YouTube channel below, and I've got a little video for about 5 minutes to show you how to get that Zotero plugin working if it's not. If it's working, let's carry on. So I'm going to left click it, select it. So now I'm ready to add sources. Before I do anything else, select document preferences. Let's choose your reference style. I'm going to leave it with Cite Them Right Harvard. Click OK. Now select Add. So we need to find a source to use. Now if you can't remember the name of it, just click the little arrow and select Classic View. I'm going to use that journal and click OK. You can add a prefix or suffix to your in-text citations. Or if you want to add multiple sources, select multiple sources here. So I could add 1, I could add 2, and it will source all your work for you automatically. But I don't want to do the 1, so I'm going to remove that and click OK. There's my in-text citation. Now I've got something there, haven't I? Go back to Zotero. Go to my library. Remember my journal. I could do a right click and actually go back and view it online. Now if I didn't copy the text in that I wanted to use, I've got the abstract there as well, which I had in Zotero, but I want to show you this way. I'm going to highlight that paragraph, Control C, and I'm going to paste that into Word. So I'm going to click at the beginning, Control V, and there we go. You've now got your quote, which I better put in quotes, and your in-text citation. That's number 1 done. Let's go back to Zotero. Say next we want to use the book. So again, we've got notes here, haven't we? Remember I copied something earlier. So I've got paragraph 2, the Roman Empire. Let's just say I wanted to cite that. I'm going to copy that. Again, pop that into Word. And I need to cite it again. Again, put it in quotes if it's a direct quote. Add, use the arrow, classic view. I don't want to use the book. Now normally with a book you have to put the page number in the in-text citation depending on how you're referencing, so check that. I'm going to just make up page 45 and select OK. There's my second in-text citation. Now when you've done all your citations you need your reference list at the bottom. Give a couple of lines wherever you want your list at the bottom and select the second option, Add. That will create your bibliography for you in alphabetical order. You can, if you want, highlight those sources again, delete them, and then carry on working, typing. As long as the in-text citations are there, it will always create your bibliography for you. Let me show you. So again, I'm going to create it again, so you can carry on working. Now bear in mind, if you click this option here, it unlinks them. So if I select it, it will remove the field code, so that no longer when I delete the sources, it won't create your bibliography for you because I've unlinked them. Let me show you. And there you go, you get an error up. So you might want to use that in circumstances, but I think to leave that would be the best option. One more thing, I'm showing you in-text citations. So I'm going to get rid of those citations. What happens if you're doing footnoting? Maybe you're doing modern humanities, or maybe you're doing law. Select document preferences. Let's do Oscola law. I'm going to click on it, and we want footnotes, so leave it as default and select OK. Now you're ready to do the same thing by footnoting, so add and select the classic view. Let's select the journal and select OK. So you see it's bookmarked it automatically for me. Let me scroll down, and it actually creates your footnoting automatically at the bottom for you as well, so you don't have to do it. Let's do a second one. Let's imagine it's a quote from that book, so I'll put Romy. And again, I'm going to come up to add. Again, classic view. And I'm going to use a book and select OK. And again, scroll to the bottom, you footnote the second one. Just double check the footnoting is correct as well. And there you go, in-text citations and footnoting easily done. Go back to Zotero. Anything you don't want, right click and you can move the item to trash and click OK. And you can also move sources where you want them. So I might move that source to World War One. So if I click into World War One, it'll be in there. And if you go to trash, you can right click and empty all your trash. So it doesn't delete them straight away, you've got that option. And there you go. That should get you up and running on Zotero. Thanks for watching.